had a lovely day. Well, Mark Carney, the Prime Minister, the newly elected Prime Minister of Canada, he went to visit old Donald Trump, that old Cheeto bandito. Yeah, a felon. Well, he went to visit him. That he did. To see him about these pesky tariffs. No, there's not a lot going to be happening there regarding the tariffs. No. And you kind of wonder to yourself whether there was any point at all to this meeting. It seemed to me that was just another opportunity for Donald Trump to, well, spout his rubbish. It was a tirade of statements and madness. Damn. I really felt sorry for Mark Carney. I really did. You see, I have the video at the Oval Office, and there's Christ, I don't know how Mark Carney managed to keep civilized. Have a civilized conversation with that man. It was just Donald Trump fluffing himself. I know that Donald Trump likes to be fluffed by everybody else, but he even fluffs himself. It was just ridiculous. Now, there were some times when Mark Carney had to put him right, a bit like when Emmanuel Macron did, and clarify the fact that the people, what he called the owners of Canada. Yes, he'd been meeting all the owners of Canada during the election, and he said, "Well, they don't want to sell." That's pretty much what he said. They don't want to sell. And Donald Trump says, "Oh, never say never," he says. So the likelihood of there ever being any kind of forced invasion there is pretty slim. But just the idea, just saying it's just so disrespectful. It really is. And there he was slagging off Justin Trudeau, left, right, and said, "Hello, Jacob Platt. I hope you well. I hope the audio is okay. Hello, Newfoundland. It was a shout out from Newfoundland. Hello then." So I hope the audio's okay, and I'll play this little video in a moment because it's crikey, it's 33 minutes of stuff, and we'll go through it and we'll kind of highlight some bits and pieces in it as well because oh my giddy aunt, if for no other reason, Donald Trump isn't as entertaining for all the wrong reasons. Does he actually believe the stuff that he spouts? I think he does, doesn't he? Yeah. And for Mark Carney just to sit there all composed and keeping his calm, waiting for a moment to be able to squeeze a word in because Donald Trump he just spiels, doesn't he? He's just continuous and almost impossible to get a word in. A word in edgeways, as they say. See, Donald Trump, he loves the sound of his own voice. He really does. And there was times I was watching, you'll see in a moment, watching Mark Carney, and he looked positively uncomfortable, like he sort of biting his lip a bit, really. Although he did speak out a few times to put the point across regarding the old deal and what have you, USMCA or something. And there has been some concessions regarding the latest tariffs on parts, but they ain't gonna make any bloody difference. And Donald Trump pretty much hammers home the fact that we want to be building our own cars. Well, if you don't make all the bloody shit, you're not going to be able to build them, are you? Very few motor car manufacturers have ever made everything themselves. That was in the days when the cars were a lot more basic, like Morris Minors and Morris 8s. In the good old days when cars seemed to make sense. Lift the bonnet up and get in there with them. These days it's just, oh my giddy, where's my laptop? It's just nuts. And I still work on my own motors, I still do. I don't trust anybody, that's my problem. I don't trust anybody. So, my son gets the garage to do his. And half the time it comes back with something else wrong. Trump's tune is going to change when their shelves are empty in a couple of weeks. There are still ships coming in from various. Oh, that's a lovely cup of coffee. From various places, but the choice is dwindling fast. And I think the last one from China itself is on the 19th of this month. You see, they have been bringing in a lot of stuff before these dates are coming to, come to fruition. And, well, ain't gonna last forever, is it? And a lot of this is for parts and components and stuff people need to, or factories need to make their goods. But as it stands, it will come to an end. Unless somebody in this game of chicken gives in. I can't see it being China playing. They won't. See, it'd be dishonourable for them to do that. And then you look at what Japan's been saying recently. They say they're going to dump the dollar, and they hold about 1.1 trillion in US dollars. Can you imagine what that'd do to the dollar? Just stick that on the market. That's their trump card, so to speak. They called it the nuclear option. And if they do that, if China does it as well, because they got about 800 billion in US dollar, they have sold quite a bit off recently as well. So does Japan, actually. But between them, the problem is, you see, when the dollar's weak, you can't buy a lot, can you, from abroad? Everything's becoming more and more expensive. So all those parts that are coming in anyway, they're more expensive anyway because the dollar's weak. Oh, and Canada owns 350 billion, do they? Oh, cheers, Mark. Oh, cry, I didn't know that. Can you imagine if everyone started dumping the dollar? Oh my goodness, that'd be terrible. The thing is, it's ordinary folk that suffer as well, isn't it? People who didn't vote for all this rubbish. And who don't support Donald Trump. If you support Donald Trump, well then quite frankly, it's tough tea, isn't it? If you're going to suffer, if you want to suffer, then you've done the right thing, you vote for this man. He's a foul individual, is he? Who do you think got the slow bleed going to begin with? Oh, the slow bleed. Who do you think that got the slow bleed? God, so yeah. I imagine Mark Carney started getting a bleed in the brain. I don't know, crikey. Sitting there listening to Donald Trump literally talk about how great he is and how bad Biden is. Just unbelievable. Yeah, Carney has been busy. I actually got a bit of soft spot for Mark Carney. I really have. Because he was our Bank of England governor in the UK. I'm in France now, but he was our Bank of England governor. And I have to admit, he did a marvellous job, post-Brexit. He did, well, best of what he could anyway, with what he had to work with. And the UK would have been in an even worse place than it is now if it wasn't for Mark Carney. He's a very, very clever man. And he says all the right things, and he's witty as well. To have someone with morals, witty, and smart, he's prime ministerial, isn't he? He knows how to deal with Donald Trump. He's not going to have any shit without being rude, but also he's quite happy for Donald just to do his thing. Why would you want to constantly be butting in that anyway? Because it's just, he reminds me of my father in some ways. Not the nasty bit, but where my dad, he would, if he thought he didn't understand something, he'd want to over-explain it. And he had a thing about propellers and the picture of the airplanes, the picture of the propellers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'll talk about propellers. I've got what's through there actually? A compass from an old Lancaster bomber. when the Jews doing the dam busters raids. I can't guarantee it's been dam busters raids, but as you know, the Bouncing bomb and all that. Yeah, it's quite a big metal gimbal. It's not liquid filled or anything. It's just a little compass. So yeah, it's what I've been thinking about is we're watching those Lancasters go over the flyby in the United Kingdom. I do like the old Lancasters. The Avro Lancaster. The Donald question says didn't watch. What was that? What does Steve Watch say? Michael Jackson's notes. Do you live in a shed? No, this is no. We have a house. It's an old farmhouse, and this is actually. Okay, I've got a room over there. It's like a high-tech room, and it's got all the lasers and stuff like that in it. This is my little mini workshop, which I use for my videos for my woodworking channel, and then I've got a little space in here as well. And basically, this is actually a barn. All right. And I don't live in the barn either. I've got a farmhouse here in France. So yeah, no, I don't live in the shed. But I can see how you come with that idea. It's just why I come sit down and do my videos, okay? And that way I'm away from the noise, from people in the house. And not a word of a lie, I built this part, not that bit, but this part, when I built this, I actually built it out of pallets. And if you see it, you wouldn't believe it. I'll tell you, it's just, there's an old barn door, all right? It's literally bolted to the wall. And these are literally from these little shingles there, came off the roof of our other barn. And I just cut them to length and made them little shingles like that. Yeah, it's called Vallige off the old barn anyway. There we come. Did you know we grow wheat, corn, potatoes, carrots, etc.? Now, American farmers won't have a competition from outside. They will make money. Wake up, Americans are the consumers and the producers. Now, Donald Trump said in this meeting here, he said about China, and we don't need China, and we don't sell them anything. I'm afraid the American farmers sell China a shitload. And now China's getting their beef from Australia. Their soybean from Mexico, was it Iran? One of the two. Can't remember, from Mexico. So you remember last time the tariffs? We put those tariffs on last time. The farmers had to be bailed out. Pretty much everything that was like 20 or 30 billion, a huge amount of money anyway. The farmers had to be bailed out because they're about to go bankrupt because of Donald Trump's tariffs. Big old cover up, you see. And it's happening again. The suicide rate in agricultural industry in the United States has gone through the fucking roof. It really has. And then you got like for instance, the veterans, what have you, the VA, the money that people signed up. Well, no, what's the farmers actually? The farmers who signed up for mental health, the money stopped coming. Yeah, for doctors and stuff for their mental health because they're suffering. The money since Donald Trump's coming, the money stopped coming. Don't fool yourself. I know you grow a shitload of stuff. Americans are the consumers and the producers. The problem with that little idea, you have an instant economy, and when you have a producer and a consumer, and remember the United States is more of a consumer country. You consume shitloads, all right? It's consumerism, and for the when you have an insular economy like that, it's just the same money circulating. And when it gets filtered off to the rich buggers' back pockets, in some Cayman Islands bank or something, the money in the country gets dwindling, and it no longer circulates. And the only way you can get the money back in the country is either by direct foreign investment, okay, or another way I suppose would be if somebody takes out a loan or mortgage. And the government, the federal bank, they get the opportunity to print more money, so to speak, put more money, circulate more money, because somebody's taken out a loan. And there's that kind of thing. So, and if you don't keep that money coming in, eventually it's just all going to be going out. And then you don't have enough tax take. Now, Donald Trump keeps going on about these tariffs, which we'll start the video in a second. You've got all these, I've got enough people there now. Go on to these tariffs, all right? And you'll make all these billions, right? Get these countries to pay all this money, blah, 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 but get a deal with them, For Christ's sake, all the tariffs are doing, you know this. Anyone with half a brain cell, you've got half a brain cell, all right? You should already know this. That's just you paying more tax. It's the end user, the purchaser, the buyer, the customer is the one who's having to pay. That's just how it is. It's how it always is with tariffs. They get imported. The importer pays the money, he passes the cost on. It's just common sense, Donald Trump trying to hoodwink everybody and tell them that the money's going to be paid by from China, for instance, or Canada, or, all these other countries. No. It'll be the American people. So it's just literally just another tax on the American people. Now, the prices of goods are starting to go up. Shen and Shen have literally put them up with 377% on imports if you want this imported rubbish. I agree with Donald Trump, a lot of that stuff is imported rubbish. It just is just crap. We don't really need half this shit. We buy it because we want it. Some of it's useful. In fact, I've just made an order with Temu for some little steel wheels, the little V pulleys. And, for my electric gate that needs no pulley in the middle because the gate starts to stack in the middle. so I got them from Temu because they're cheap. Ridiculously cheap. Exactly the same thing. Probably made in the same factory as the last lot I've had. So, you're going to buy stuff if it's, it's about supply and demand. And do you really want to be paying more money all the time? Especially when you've got a cost of living increase as it is. Everything's going to become more expensive. I'll tell you what isn't, though. Is you're going to start seeing the cost of fuel, possibly in the United States, coming down. And the reason for that is because OPEC, which, Russia's a part of here, they're overproducing. They're starting to overproduce again. Can you remember last time they did that? Screwed BP and companies like that, because the barrel price came right down, and the cost to the United States oil companies, for instance, it cost more to produce the oil than it did actually what the barrel's worth. I can remember that, I think it was BP, honestly, but BP was like about $10 a barrel out of pocket. It was costing them money. They're going to need paramedics, nurses, labour, engineers, absolutely everything, yes. You got the people. I mean, we should start chanting down the bloody great big orange. That's Wonderland, yeah. I didn't get that first time I said that. Steve again. OPEC wants a low price for now to prevent the USA oil exploration. Makes a lot of sense, Steve. Hello, Steve. Hope you're well. You're one of my top commenters, you are. I was looking at his. Joel's the highest. He's done the most comments. I think it's about 6,500 comments he's done on this channel. Stephen Walsh says, learning the hard way. Not you specifically, but you as a country. There we go. I'll give that a look then, though. It's just the future references. UK is going through something, and I'm thinking of saving up to move out. Yeah, I know the United Kingdom is going. Oh. Listening to Nigel Farage. Oh my God, Donald Trump's little. Okay, I know he's is he like the British Trump? He has got some yellow corduroys. They're not orange, but he got some yellow corduroys. I suppose it's nearly the same colour-ish. But he said there earlier that we should do a Doge in the UK. That's one of his suggestions. Are the British people really going to vote for that? What's happening in the United States? Just try and get a Doge. And Andrew Jenkins was going on about getting rid of DEI hires and stuff like that. I thought, what the hell? No, you see what happened with that? We have nobody left. We need more people as it is. And then she's getting rid of all the pride flags and Ukrainian flags and all that sort of stuff at her council offices that she's taken over because, the Reform Party in the UK made some massive gains regarding councillors, about 677 against. It's not all of them. There's about 20,000 odd councillors in the UK, so they're not quite there yet. But it is a bit of an eye opener because if we had an election today, I would be a bit surprised that it'd be Reform Party get power, which is a limited company. It's not even registered correctly. It's on the electoral roll, on the register of political parties. It's on there with a different name to the limited company. It's like there's two separate entities. What are you voting for? One or the other? And Nigel Farage is the one holding the big money. Now he said he's changed all the structure of it, but he hasn't done it yet. It's still the same. It's all talk. Like Donald Trump, it's all talk. There's nice coffee. Big hydroelectric project happening here in Labrador in the near future. Hydroelectric, that's brilliant. We've got quite a few hydroelectric plants around here in the Limousin where we live, and we've just got some solar array going up just down the road here. It's not a huge one; it's about a hectare. So, yeah, which is about 10,000 square meters. It's not far from us. It's literally about 2 kilometers on the road, 2 miles. Well, mile and a half. So it's not very far away at all from here. But I ain't got a problem with it. I actually think it's good for the ground, right? Because the ground becomes dormant, and then all the little microorganisms and stuff can regenerate, and it becomes like virgin soil again, which is good. It's good for the earth. And oh, crikey, below something like $45 a barrel. USA oil companies start to drill at a loss. Ooh, crikey, at $45? Blimey. That won't be very good. See, the thing is, the United States and the UK, I suppose, in some ways, we become so dependent on other countries, and not just on our allies, but on countries that, quite frankly, we haven't got very favourable relationships with. And when that's the case, well, what happens when everything turns really sour like it is at the moment? Well, they can use them as tools, as weapons against you. They just can. Hey, Joe, how my friend? Now, Joel Marrell's on here. He's a very clever chappy. Speaks 100 languages. He's also a moderator on the channel. We'll be lurking, he says. We'll be lurking. Just to let you know, Joel, I don't know if you know, but you've actually made around 6,500. You are the top commenter on this channel. Done 6,500 comments, you have. I consider your comments are like that. Oh, there. Just let everyone know, I do actually read the comments on my videos. So I can't always reply, but I do go through them and do read them. Hydro is an unsung hero. Well, yes, of course it's, because it's running day and night as well, isn't it? Hello, Boo. Yeah, when I think back, Donald Trump's going to be 198, isn't he? It's come down to 198, it isn't, but it's come down to 198 now, he says. For a gallon. Well, we pay about 170 a litre. That's 4.5 or 4.55 litres in a gallon of fuel. So, yeah, you're only at 198 or $2.50 or whatever it was, Crikey. Hello, Robert Edgar. Hello from Canada. Yes, you're Mark Carney's in Washington. He's been in the older, yes, in the Oval Office. Shall we start? I think we should, shouldn't we? Let's take the piss out of Donald Trump, shall we? I reckon so. Yeah, let's make sure it's right at the beginning. There we go.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great honor to have Prime Minister Mark Carney with us. As you know, just a few days ago, he won a very big election in Canada. And I think I was probably the greatest thing that happened to him, but I can't take full credit. They were.
Well, I think he's referring to the fact if it wasn't for Donald Trump, he might not. Oh God, end of the day, because of Donald Trump, Mark Carney pretty much had to. Not Mark Carney, Justin Trudeau had to stand down, didn't he? And also because something going on with that. I've got her name now. Oh, that woman. And and then Donald Trump the other day he posted something about make a decision about the Conservatives or something like that, and be the 51st state, make the right decision and stuff. And what happened? They all voted. We don't want that, So Palev really got screwed over by him.
His party was losing by a lot, and he ended up winning. So I really want to congratulate him. Was probably one of the greatest.
I really feel sorry for Mark Carney to sit through that.
Maybe even greater than mine. But I want to just congratulate you. That was a great election, actually.
Ooh.
We were watching it with interest, and I think Canada chose a very talented person, a very good person.
You suck it up by any chance?
The election quite a few times, and it's an honor to have you at the White House and the Oval Office. And you see the new and improved Oval Office.
Yes, it looks like a harem.
Beautiful. With love.
And 24 karat gold.
And 24 karat gold. That always helps.
Yes, I have listened to this twice already.
A lot of fun going over some of the beautiful pictures that were stored in the vaults that were for many, many years. In some cases, over 100 years. They were stored in vaults of the
what also?
Yeah,
obviously be arguing.
Every one of them. So it's very interesting. But I just want to congratulate you, and it ran a really great race. I watched the debate, and I thought you were excellent.
Oh, he loves the sound of his own voice.
We have some tough points to go over, and that'll be fine. And we're going to also be discussing
golf and McDonald's for Trump.
The war, because Mark wants it ended as quickly as
the gormless golfer
has to end. We had some very good news last night. The Houthis
Captain Golf
have
Cart.
announced that they are not, or they've announced to us at least, that they don't want to fight anymore. They just don't want to fight.
He's rifling for all our treasures.
We will honor that. And
yes, literally.
We will stop the bombings.
AI Trump language.
Capitulated, but more importantly, they.
What in God's name is he talking about? I don't know.
They say they will not be blowing up ships anymore.
So we're burning ships up and Houthi rebels.
What we were doing, so that's just news. We just
Apparently,
found out about that.
Apparently, they said they're not going to find more
I think
missiles.
it's very, very positive. They were knocking out a lot of ships going, as you know, sailing beautifully down the various seas. It wasn't just the canal; it was a lot of other places.
Oh yeah, they're very straight line across Canada. Yes, a very straight line. It's like a dab of a ruler. He says that again here as well.
Effective immediately, and Marco, you'll let everybody know.
He speaks and only he listens or understands.
Say about that, by the way, it was a pretty big announcement. Yeah,
I was going to say. Oh, Marco Rubio. Oh my God.
And the job was to get that to stop. And if it's going to stop, then we can stop.
Oh, look at all those fascists except Mark Carney.
I think it's an important goal.
And we'll have maybe before we're going to, as you know, the
great president.
Saudi Arabia.
Ooh.
We're going to UAE.
He ain't bright, you know.
And that'll be, I guess, Monday night. Some of you are coming with us. I think before then we're going to have a very, very big announcement to make. Like, as big as it gets. And I won't tell you.
The thing about Marco, right? Can you remember the old presidential race? But Marco Rubio was ripping into him regarding his fucking bankrupting this, that, and the other, and his watches.
On what? But it's gonna, and it's very positive. I tell you, if it was negative or positive, I can't keep that up. It is
the D
really,
beat
really
US
positive.
Hawk.
And that announcement will be made either Thursday or Friday or Monday.
Please help us. He's lost his marbles.
One of the most
yes.
important announcements that have been made in many years about a certain subject.
It's like an episode of Naked Gun, just not funny. That's very true.
Say a few words.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I'm on the edge of my seat, actually. But thank you for your hospitality and above all for your leadership. You're a transformational president. Focus on the economy.
No, just no. Mark Carney, don't do that. No. Has he been given a script? If you want to speak in the Oval Office, you have to say these words first. It's like It's like a blessing to Trump. It's a suckling of those old chocolate starfish. If you know what I mean. Well, why? Don't do them. You're letting yourself down. Oh no. Oh, I like Mark Carney as well. There's something about that, but there must be some kind of brainworm thing going on there.
Securing your borders, providing, ending the scourge of fentanyl, and other opioids, and securing the world. And I've been elected with my colleagues here.
He's kissing the ring. Yeah.
Colleagues here. I'm going to spread the.
No sucker down chocolate starfish.
To transform Canada with the
yes,
focus
impeach
on the
Trump.
economy, securing our borders. Again, on fentanyl, much greater focus on defense and security, securing the Arctic and developing the Arctic. And the history of
it's
Canada
the password.
And the
Oh,
US
is it?
stronger when we work together, and there's many opportunities to work together. And I look forward to, addressing some of those issues that we have, but also.
I'll see better cabins at the return desk of IKEA.
Very nice. Thank you very much. It's a very nice statement.
That's because you wrote it.
No, it was actually very effective, and it's still very effective, but people have to follow it. So, that's been a problem.
Speech,
people
yes.
haven't followed it. But it was a transition.
Hello, Dean Left. Oh!
And,
Joe Lefty, hello, my friend. Hope you're well.
It terminates fairly shortly. It gets renegotiated very shortly. But I thought it was a very positive step from.
Hey, Gingers! Hello, Gingers. There's your president.
The world. And this was a transitional deal.
Your train's getting huge, by the way.
We're going to be starting to possibly renegotiate that if it's even necessary. I don't know that it's necessary anymore, but it served a very good purpose. And the biggest purpose.
I wonder what Trump's password is on this debate. It's probably Trump.
For the United States, very, very terrible.
Ginger says, "Not my president."
It was made many years ago, but it should have never been made.
Canada and the United States. Would you like to see the first trade deal be with Canada?
I would love that. Look, I have a lot of respect for this man, and I watched him come up in a sense through the ranks when he wasn't given much of a chance, and he ran a really great campaign. He did a really great debate. I think that debate was very helpful. I was going to raise my hand. I don't know if that's good.
The man who, he died from the debates, didn't he? The camera, and she ate him alive.
Yeah, something could happen. Something could happen.
He's so embarrassing, says Eric. So embarrassing. Nothing he's saying has any weight or of truth. No weight of truth at all.
Friendship.
Oh.
No, we're going to be friends with Canada. Regardless of anything, we're going to be friends with Canada. Canada is a very special place to me. I know so many people that live in Canada.
Yeah, just sign that mineral deal.
Relatives that lived in Canada, my mother in particular. And
you don't have the cards,
Canada,
something like that.
I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky, how good, the great one. You happen to have a very, very good hockey player right here.
So I have
a lot of he is a big tough.
Trump is a transformational.
The record.
Transformational president.
We had the team here, and I got to know a lot of the players.
Oh, there I get you.
Canada is a very special
I
place.
did misunderstand that.
Mr. President, I'd like to get your response to this too. Mr. President, you had said that Canada should become the 51st state.
No. Well, I still believe that, but takes two to tango, right? But no, I do. I believe it would be a massive tax cut for the Canadian citizens. You get free military, you get tremendous medical care.
Oh, dear me.
There would be a lot of advantages, but it would be a
tremendous medical care. What? Canada's got tremendous medical care. Not far short of what we have in the UK, except it works a bit better. Why would they give up that? That doesn't make any sense. And besides, you've got a lovely straight line, apparently. There's a wiggly bit at the end, mind.
Massive tax cut. And it's also a beautiful, as a real estate developer, I'm a real estate developer at heart. When you get rid of that artificially drawn line, somebody drew that line many years ago with like a ruler, just a straight line right across the top of the country. When you look at that beautiful formation when it's together, I'm a very artistic person, But when I looked at that beauty, I said, that's the way it was meant to be. But, you know,
Bring back Carly before he gets infected with the Trump virus. Or that brain
We're
worm.
not going to be discussing that unless somebody wants to discuss it.
Shut up, Dolly, says Gingers.
There are tremendous benefits to the Canadian citizens, tremendously lower taxes, free military, which honestly we give you essentially anyway because we're protecting Canada if you ever had a problem. But I think it would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. We have done that in the past, and part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
And they have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, they were low and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
Good point, Gingers, good point.
Well, we'll be talking
Take care, Misty.
different things. Look, we want to protect our automobile business, and so does Mark. But we want to make the automobiles, and we want to, we have a tremendous abundance of energy, more than any country. We have,
bugger,
just
Gingers.
in Alaska alone,
So
Hanwha's reopened now.
Yeah,
Hanwha's
that.
probably the largest find.
Oh, no.
They say
Didn't
it's
find a
larger
job,
than
I
Saudi
suppose.
Arabia. I don't know, but it's a lot. But we have tremendous amounts of energy. Other countries don't. We're both lucky in that way. They have energy. We have energy. We have more than we can ever use and more than we could ever sell, actually. And you have the same thing. So we're two countries that are
So
very
why have you been
lucky.
buying
If you
it
look at
then?
China, they don't have that. It's a big disadvantage. Other countries, most countries don't have. Most countries don't have that. So Canada and us, we have a lot of advantages over other places.
When you consider what Mr. Carney just said, that Canada is not for sale, does this make the discussion a little more difficult to start on?
No, not at all. No, time will tell. It's only time. But I say, never say never. I've had many, many things that were not doable, and they ended up being doable, and only doable in a very friendly way. But if it's to everybody's benefit, Canada loves us, and we love Canada.
Canada does not love you.
Right, but we'll see. Over time, we'll see what happens.
Stupid journalists. They're all picked, aren't they?
They want to meet, and they're doing no business right now. And those ships are turning around in the Pacific Ocean.
It is self-control.
Big turn. Those are big ships. Those ships take about 10 miles.
No, we don't love Trump. This is level 70.
We lost $1 trillion to China on trade because of an incompetent
The US
president
must
that we had,
educate their
who
people.
preceded me, grossly incompetent. You're finding it out more and more now. And by not trading, we're losing nothing. So we're saving $1 trillion. It's a lot. But they want to negotiate, and they want to have a meeting, and we'll be meeting with them at the right time. I have not met with them, of course. You would know if I met. I'd tell you. They want to meet.
You did say. You said, there's going to be a deal. It's there. It's nearly done.
Look, they're suffering greatly. Their economy is suffering greatly because they're not doing trade with the U.S. And they made most of their money off the U.S. Don't kid yourself. They don't make the money off other countries like this. And
they're looking for the markets.
We had a trade imbalance. We had a deficit, or they had a surplus. Another way of saying it.
Expect nothing from
more
the
than
US.
$1 trillion. Think of
Quite
it.
sad,
More than $1
really, I
trillion.
think.
And because of 145%,
Word
that's the only
salad.
reason, but because of that now
Say that.
145% tariff.
No, I've
there's
answered
no
the
trading.
question.
You can't trade with
The original
145%.
question. Or gave us any
We
useful
are
information.
therefore making in a certain way, I guess, $1.1 trillion.
Just make the numbers up
In
now.
other words, we're not losing $1.1 trillion. Our deficit is much better. When I started, I said we were
1.1 trillion
losing
is the same amount that
billions of
bonds
dollars
that
a day
ban
in
on.
trade. That's rapidly turning around. We looked at numbers this morning. So we were losing, the United States during Biden was losing more than, I won't even give you numbers because they're so embarrassing, but billions of dollars a day
He's
for
making it
trade.
up.
Those numbers are rapidly turning between the tariffs. Don't forget, we're now getting 25% on cars, 25% on aluminum.
Yeah, but who's paying it? The American people. He's still pushing that line. It's just so bloody embarrassing. It's just, don't most people know this? I just find it just flabbergasting. And people honestly believe what is coming out of his gob.
25% on steel, and maybe more importantly, massive numbers of companies are moving into the United States. Honda, we have tremendous, the car companies are moving in at levels we've never seen before. The biggest investment ever made in the United States is being made right now. Trillions of dollars. I would say we could be at $9 trillion. You could go back to other presidents. They haven't had
it's fag packet
$1
stuff.
trillion
Oh,
for their entire term. Look at Biden. He had bad numbers. People
Massive,
were leaving.
massive,
They
yes,
weren't coming
fellas.
in. They were leaving
Massive,
with
big
Biden.
leap.
And he didn't
Tiny
know the
hands.
difference. The only thing he knew is people
Little
coming
snips.
in. You know who they were? Illegal immigrants.
Oh,
Okay, from prisons, from mental institutions, from all sorts of places.
Did
that
they
weren't
escape?
good, from gangs, from Venezuela.
God's sake.
They were coming in and they were criminals and murderers. 11,888 people that murdered, and at least half of them murdered more than one person. This is what Biden led into our country. I'm bringing in big companies. We have Apple is investing $500 billion.
Bigly
We
dolls.
have,
Oh yeah,
Jensen,
Donny
as
Two
you know, is
dolls.
going to be 500 biggest chip maker. Well, chip
He's nuts.
thinker,
He
I
is
call him.
absolutely
He's really a
loony.
thinker more than a
Absolutely
maker.
gingers.
But we also have the maker, Mr. Wei. I get to know
Larry
all
repeats the
for
same
last-
prepared
it
nonsense
was a
he always
cram
does.
course.
Yeah.
But they're
It's
all
like someone's
moving
pulled a
into
string in his
America because
back.
of the tariffs. And I
Don't
think
forget, people
people
don't like
appreciate
button
it. And some
wear.
people do. Some of the smart people do. So we have more money coming in. It's really an amazing thing. We have more money being invested in the United States now than at any time ever before in our history, and it's not even close. And I think the real number could be 9 or 10 trillion. We don't know everybody that's doing it. We have many. I just heard about a plant that's being built right now, a very, very top of the line company, and they didn't come to the White House. They're just doing it because they're making it, because if they build here, there are no tariffs. And this is the big market. This is the market. That sets us apart from it. This is the market where everyone wants to be. Now, if I didn't come here and do this, all of a sudden we wouldn't be the market where everyone wants to be. So we're able to do it in time.
God's sake.
But we're going to have a great announcement, and I'm not necessarily saying it's on trade.
Oh, he's tiresome.
Going to the beginning, we're going to have a great announcement over the next few days, an announcement that will be so incredible, so positive. And I'm not saying, I don't want you to think it's necessarily on trade.
He's
Just to finish, we also have a situation, because everyone says, when are you going to sign deals? We don't have to sign deals. We could sign 25 deals right now, Howard, if we wanted. We don't have to sign deals. They have to sign deals with us. They want a piece of our market. We don't want a piece of their market. We don't care about their market.
Oh, so you don't care
They
about your
want a piece
farmers?
of our market. So we can just sit down, and I'll do this at some point over the next 2 weeks, and I'll sit with Howard and Scott and with our great vice president, who
Good
has
point,
done
gingers.
a really good job. We have some good news to report on a lot of fronts, but JD will be there. And
Yes, we're saying
Marco, and
idiocy.
we're going to sit down.
In the
and we're gonna
classic.
put
Very
fair
funny.
numbers down, and we're
That's
gonna say,
documentary of the feature.
here's what this country, what we want, and congratulations, we have a deal. And they'll either say, great, and they'll start shopping, or they'll say, not good, we're not going to do it. I
He's
said,
run out
it's
of
okay, you don't have
Sharpies.
to shop. Now, we may think, well, they have a right, that
His
maybe we're a
giant
little bit
signature
wrong. So
with
we'll
extra wiggly
adjust it.
bits.
And then you people will say, oh, it's so chaotic. No, we're flexible. But we'll sit down and we'll at some point, in some cases, we'll sign some deals. It's much less important than what I'm talking about. For the most
Yes,
part, we're
Steve.
just going to put down a
Steve
number and say
McGowan.
this is what you're going to pay to shop.
And I only have
It's gonna be a
two.
very fair number.
Two
You know, we're not
screwdrivers,
looking to hurt
okay?
countries. We want to help countries.
I don't need
We wanna be
6 or
friendly with
10 or
countries.
20. They just
But you
need
keep
2.
writing about deals. When are we going to sign? When? It's
An
very
adult and a
simple. We're
toddler.
gonna say,
Yeah.
In some
That's like when
cases, we want
Zelensky
you
was
to
there.
open up your
There's a man in
country.
a
In some cases, we want you to
There's a
drop
man
your
without a
tariffs.
suit, and then there's a
India,
suit
as
without a
an
man
example, is
inside.
one of the highest tariffs in the world. We're not going to put up with that, and they've agreed already.
It does feel
to
like a
drop
tragic
to drop it to
comedy.
nothing. They've already agreed. They would have never done that for anybody else but me. So we're going to put down some numbers, and we're going to say,
Oh, my
our
toddler
country's
and
open
sheep.
for business,
Yes, you're
and
not
they're gonna
wrong.
come in,
Hello,
and they're
a
going
black
to pay for
angel,
the privilege of
Takari.
being able to shop in the United States
You
of America.
restart
It's very
them.
simple. It's very simple. So I wish that
Hey,
you'd,
madman. Happy well, my
stop
friend.
asking how many deals are you signing this week, because one day we'll come and we'll give you 100 deals, and they don't have to sign. All they have to do is say, "Oh, we'll start sending our ships right now to pick up whatever we
Error,
want, or
no
to
brain
pay whatever we
found.
want." It's very, very simple, and I think my people haven't made it clear. We will sign some deals, but much
Verbal
bigger than
diary,
that
not
is
wrong,
we're going to put
Dorgan.
down the price that people are going to have to pay to shop in the United States. Think of us as a super luxury store, a store that has the goods. You're going to come and you're going to pay a price, and we're going to give you a very good price. We're going to make very good
Don't
deals.
forget
And
to
in some
like
cases, we'll adjust. But that's where it is. And we've been ripped off
Oh,
by
I thought it was
everybody
stop.
for 50 years. For 50 years. And we're just not going to do that anymore. We
Oh,
can't do
dear.
that. And we can't let any country do that to us. We're just not going to do it anymore.
Can you tell us a bit more about the deal that you've reached with the Houthis?
No, it's not a deal. They've said, please don't bomb us anymore, and we're not going to attack your ships.
Where did you hear about that?
It doesn't matter where I hear it. The
He
very good
no, he
source.
made it up, basically.
Very, very good source. Would you say, Marco? I would say pretty good, right, JD? A very good source. No, they don't want to be. They don't want to be. They don't want to be bombed anymore. You know. I sort of thought that would happen. You want to back behind you, please?
Clarify something you said on USMCA. Is the U.S. prepared to walk away from that pact?
From what pact?
USMCA.
Oh, Cheetah
No,
Bandito.
no, it's fine. It's there. It's good. We use it for certain things. It's there. We have the USMCA is a good deal for everybody. I won't say this about Mark, but I did
Yeah,
like
you're
his
not wrong. He does
predecessor.
deserve
I
a
did
Johnny
like
Carney
a
does.
person that worked for. She
That
was
must be
terrible.
so
Actually,
painful.
she was a
My
terrible
ears are starting to
person.
hurt.
And she really hurt that deal very badly because she tried to take advantage of the deal and she didn't get away with it. You know what I'm talking about. But
No.
you know, we had a bad relationship having to do with the fact that we
Car
disagreed with the
dealership
way
White
they
House,
viewed the
yeah.
deal. And we ended it. You know, we ended that relationship pretty much. The
Tesla's
USMCA
getting
is
even
great
bad,
for all
really
countries.
bad now.
It's good for all countries. We do have a negotiation coming up
Yeah,
over the
that
next
sets
year
up
or
now,
so to adjust it or terminate it.
Not a lot you can do.
I'll say a word on USMCA if I may, Mr. President. It is a basis
Oh,
for
a
a
real
broader
man.
negotiation. Some things about it are going to have to change. And part of the way you've conducted these tariffs has taken advantage of existing aspects of USMCA. So it's going to have to change. There's other
Ooh,
elements that
criticism.
come, and that's part of what we're going to discuss.
During the campaign,
My ears feel better all of a sudden.
Canada decided not to
Hello, stand up, well, my friend.
as much as before and decided to partner with other countries.
Well, we don't do much business with Canada from our standpoint. They do a lot of business with us. We're at like 4%. And usually those things don't last very long. You know, we have great things, great product. The kind of product we sell, nobody else can sell.
What?
Including military. Look, we make the best military equipment
No, you don't.
in the world. And Canada
You make good stuff, but not
buys
necessarily the best.
our military equipment, which we appreciate. But we make the best military equipment in the world by far. The missiles, the submarines, everything. Everything we have is really top notch. I rebuilt our military during our last term. Stupidly, we gave some away to Afghanistan, which
That was your fucking
that was,
fault.
I think it was the most.
He made an agreement with the fucking Taliban before Biden took over. God.
Embarrassing moment in the history of our country. It was just a very incompetent people. But if you look, the man that's now the head of our Joint Chiefs, he led the attack on ISIS for me. That's why he's the head of the Joint Chiefs. And Raisin Kane, he was unbelievable. And as you know, we defeated ISIS in 3 weeks. It was supposed to take 5 years. We did it in 3 weeks. And he ran the campaign. I said, I like him. But I knew him before. I went to Iraq, and we agreed to a plan, and that was the plan. And as you know, we did it in record time. So we have the best equipment in the world. We have the best, a lot of things.
Poor Carly,
But Canada does.
Can I leave now?
With us than we do with Canada. Yeah.
Your investments, Mr. President, when do you think the investments that you've announced, trillions, will finally hit economic data this year?
When you're saying about the tariffs?
No, about the investments that you've announced.
Oh, it's hitting right now. Look, they're already starting AI plans. These are not people that look for financing. That's a good thing. You know, in real estate, you get a site, then you have to look for financing. You have to get your zoning. 5 years later, you start building. You get a bank, then the bank's no good. And
they did know, didn't they? Yeah. Portugal dumped $6 billion arms contract.
Ridiculous thing, because that doesn't get them to build. All we did is hint.
I know, Eugene. Poor Carly.
Chips Act that was done by.
I had to listen to that.
Billions. We give them billions of dollars. They don't even have to do anything with it. And then if you weren't, if you didn't have, and I don't want to be a wise guy, but if you didn't go with the DEI, if you didn't go with all of the different things, if you weren't woke,
you can tell that Mark Carney is going to be laughing all the way back to Canada.
You got to have a certain percentage of this and that and that and that. It's impossible. Impossible to have.
Point.
The people,
Carney don't have to live there.
Complained to me. They say they gave me all this money, but nobody can get these people to do anything. I mean, look, President Obama, and if he wanted help, I'd give him help because I'm a really good builder and I build on time, on budget. He's building his.
You don't pay your workers.
It's a disaster. And
notorious for it.
Something to the effect, I only want DEI. I only want woke. He wants woke people to build it. Well.
Woke
people and they have massive cost overruns. A job is stopped. I don't know. It's a disaster, and I don't like that happening because I think it's bad for the presidency that a thing like that should happen. He's got a library that's a disaster, and he wanted to be very politically correct, and he didn't use good, hard, tough, mean construction workers that I love, Marco. I love those construction workers. But he didn't want construction workers. He wanted people that never did it before. And he's got a disaster in his hands, like millions of dollars, many, really many millions of dollars over budget. And I would love to help him with it.
I don't want sleeping
somebody else I
paper
could
and stuff.
recommend professionals. But it was not built in a professional manner.
Yeah, it makes everything like a massive, long, too drawn out.
In California, a little train going from San Francisco
to
Los Angeles that's being run by Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Did you ever hear of Gavin Newsom? He is
nice one. Carney is coping well. While Trump talks out of his starfish. Yes, he is. Out of his chocolate starfish. Orange starfish.
And we won't go into Los Angeles. We'll stop 25 miles short. It's hundreds of billions of dollars for this stupid project that should have never been built. And then they realized that it would have been a lot less costly if we just gave limousine service back and forth and gave it free. They would have saved hundreds of billions of dollars. They have airplanes that go there for one-hundredth the cost, and they have cars. They have a thing called the highway that goes back and forth. It's not fully utilized, and they got involved with this project. And Gavin, I always liked Gavin. I had a good relationship with him. I just got him a lot of water. I sent in people to.
Did you see Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump meet when Donald Trump got off the plane in his shoes with the lifts in? Because obviously Gavin Newsom is like 10 foot tall. And Gavin, this is kind of that leaning thing. It's like this battle of the. Yeah, Donald Trump looked that tall in front of Gavin Newsom. Obviously, Donald Trump doesn't like that. I think Trump is quite tall, isn't he?
open up that water because he refused to do it.
Pathetic little man.
And we just got him a lot of water. If they would have had that
You remember
water,
that, do you?
they would have done what I said to do. They wouldn't have had the fires in Los Angeles. Those fires would have been put out very quickly.
Look.
But if you think about it, and you got to take a look at this, it's the worst cost overrun I've ever seen. I've watched a lot of stupid people build a lot of stupid things, but that's the worst cost overrun I've ever seen. What's happening between San Francisco and Los Angeles. And you ought to ask about that because this government is not going to pay. I told our very great new Secretary of Transportation, he's doing a good job, Sean Duffy, I said, we're not going to pay for that thing. They are just...
California will
it's
go
out of
independent, I reckon.
control. This is something that you don't have things like this. It's not even conceivable. Like 30 times over budget, 30 times. It's the craziest thing and now it's hundreds of, it was supposed to be a simple train. And I think the media should take a look at it. And I'd love him to run for president on the other side. You know, I'd love to see that. But I don't think he's going to be running because that one project alone, well, that and the fires and a lot of other things, pretty much put him out of the race. We're going to work on some subtle changes, maybe. I don't even know if we're going to be dealing with USMCA. We're dealing more with concepts right now. Look, right now, we're doing trade.
A concept of a plan.
They're paying a tariff on cars and steel and aluminum. And I think we have a baseline of 10% or something like that for the tariffs. But we're getting along very well. Right now,
25% on steel and on metals, isn't it?
We have an agreement. We did something with even parts. You want to discuss that, Howard? With respect to Canada, which helps Canada out.
Sure. So we've made an arrangement with the car companies that 15% of their USMCA parts are included, and then 15% of foreign parts from the manufactured suggested retail price are not tariffed to help domestic manufacturing really thrive.
So it gave them a chance to be able to build.
None of this makes it thrive because there was no tariffs before.
Factories, if they're going to, a lot of these companies already have factories, and what they have to do is just fill them out. But they're able to build them in the United States, so we gave them a pretty substantial period of time. I think.
Is there anything the Prime Minister can say to you today to change your mind on
Trump is a posh English word for fart. Yes. He's a fart. Hello, Batshite.
No.
What's up? He goes, what's up?
That's the way it is.
The concept of a plan.
Respect that.
Sure, I would. But this is
Concept
not
of
necessarily
brain.
a one-day thing. This is over a period of time. They have to make that decision. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, if I may. Respectfully, Canadians' view on this is not going to change on the 51st state. Secondly, we are the largest client of the United States in the totality of all the goods. So we are the largest client of the United States. We have a tremendous auto sector between the two of us, and the changes that made have been helpful. 50% of a car that comes from Canada is American. That's not like anywhere else in the world. And to your question about is there one thing? No, this is a bigger discussion. There are much bigger forces involved, and this will take some time and some discussions, and that's why we're here, to have those discussions, and that is represented by who's sitting around the table.
See, the conflict is, and this is very friendly. We're not. This is not going to be like we had another little blow up with somebody else. That was a much different. This is a very friendly conversation, but we want to make our own cars. We don't really want cars from Canada, and we put tariffs on cars from Canada, and at a certain point, it won't make economic sense for Canada to build those cars. And we don't want steel from Canada because we're making our own steel, and we're having massive steel plants being built right now as we speak. We really don't want Canadian steel, and we don't want Canadian aluminum and various other things because we want to be able to do it ourselves. And we, because of, past thinking of people, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. In other words, they have a surplus with us. And there's no reason for us to be subsidizing Canada. Canada's a place that
subsidy is
will
that?
have to be able to
You're buying
take care of
something.
itself economically. I assume they can. I will tell you that
Oh, here we go. No.
When I spoke to him, I used to call him
God, how
governor.
many times
Trudeau.
he
I
said
think
this?
that probably didn't help his election. But when I spoke to him, I said, "So why are we taking your cars? Why are we taking your? We want to make them ourselves." I mean, I said, and if the price of your cars went up, or if we put a tariff on your cars of 25%, what would that mean to you? He said that would mean the end of Canada. He actually said that to me, and I said, that's a strange answer, but I understand his answer. But no, I mean, it's hard to justify subsidizing Canada to the tune of maybe $200 billion a year. We protect Canada militarily, and we always will. We're going to
You protect Canada because you have to. They're on your doorstep,
always
mate.
will, but it's not fair. But why are we subsidizing Canada $200 billion a year, or whatever the number might be? It's a very substantial number. And it's hard for the American taxpayer to say, gee whiz, we love doing that. Thank you very much. We're going to have a very
Oh, it's ended. Oh, blimey. Oh, crikey. I feel relieved. I do feel relieved. Oh, blimey. My God, don't he love the sound of his own voice? Crikey. Well, that was about an hour of, 45 minutes? What was that again? No, about 35 minutes of Donald Trump saying how great he is, and how bad Biden was, and and how Canada's still, never say never regarding the 51st state, and we don't want their cars, we don't want their steel, we don't want this, we don't want that. I don't know if my chat's working again. Come here, chat. How do I get that up on there? So chat. Chat filter messages. My last chat I can see on here is Dorco. Trump is a posh English word for a fart. And that it is. Adderall is the Adderall is strong with this one. Stupid as stupid does. Oh my giddy uncle. Can you imagine actually being married to him? Can you imagine? I don't like Melania, but crikey, she must go through hell. Or they don't spend any time together anymore, do they? Crazy. I'm just going to have a look on here and see whether or not the chat, because I can't see the chat isn't upgrading for some reason.
You need to update.
No, go away. Go away. Don't need that. Deary me. La 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 la. Okay, go on there. Stream. Where's a live? Oh, there we go.
Step 1. Watch this
No, don't want to.
presentation to discover Mr. Beast's weird instant viral trick, enabling anyone to consistently get proven viral ideas. Step 2.
Oh, that's not what.
Use this
Go away.
prompt.
That's not what I want. I want my channel. Oh, view channel. There we go. Live. Ah, that is moving. That one's not moving. The chat's not moving. Sorry about that. Right. All right, it's moving on this one now. Right, let's there you go. Okay, it's funny when you hear yourself. Let's turn my volume off. That's better. Right, let's have a quick look here. Firestorm arrived, and he could get far away from the orange. Oh, crikey, cat will poop. Melania is very happy with the driver. The security stuff. Actually, didn't she ever think before Justin Trudeau? Oh dear. David R says Carney could have gotten up and claimed to be nauseous, needing to use the facilities. Yeah, so just got paid my face. Oh dear. Yeah. She's just expensive mail order bride, that she is. Oh, Melania. Oh, crikey. That cheat the devil when he's going on about, I only need 2 dolls. Dolly 2 dolls, you know, girls, they need 2 dolls. They don't need 30 dolls, they just need 2 dolls. 2 dolls will be fine. And there was... There's some posted pictures about Ban and Melania and Donald Trump. There's Ban sitting on a stuffed lion and there's all this gold stuff everywhere. You know what I mean? It's just, okay. The hypocrisy is strong in this one. So, and the otter, I'm apologising for Trump. His senile old thoughts and offensive language. Candour is and should always be free. Of course it should. Is this Elton John? What? She's looking for a new hubby. Crikey. I wonder how that did they do that series? Was she the set with Amazon? You know, that 50-odd million or whatever it's going to be. You know, another thing that's happened recently, right? There's a trucking company, right? And this trucking company, they've just been bragging away, and they had to tell the authorities what they were doing, but they basically done some bonds, big loan. They had to take out a big loan, and this is quite a big company, right? It's a big loan, about 20 million, right? 20 million. And why has they done it? They'd done it so they could buy the meme coin, because Donald Trump has said, well, he basically publicised, didn't he, with his card and how great he is and that, the meme coin. There's going to be like a gala dinner. And those who actually have donated the most or bought as much, the most of this coin that is literally keeps dying a death, will get to have a dinner with Donald Trump. A gala dinner with, to be a lot of select food. So, because his industry is fucked. Nothing like hanging yourself even further, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just nuts. People, eh? Oh, well done. The message is held for reviews on that one. Just received an Amazon order of 2 products worth 25% less than the last shop. I'm in the UK. Now, well, we did that quite a bit to the UK actually with Brexit, because I live in France, you see, how much cheaper some stuff was. Now, I have to admit your vegetables are very cheap, but a lot of stuff's cost gone up, isn't it? Their missus just come back from the UK, and it's just saying the prices are just skyrocketed. The vegetables are still low though, but other stuff is expensive. He deserves a double. God, don't he just? Carney earned his paycheck today. That he did. He didn't come away with anything that to speak of. It's just more of a bit of a chat and a start of a negotiation. So he ain't going to come away with anything, I don't think. But I don't think he really expected to. He's just being the diplomat. And he's doing what he's meant to do. He's doing his job. And having to listen to Donald Trump. Oh my God. Could you imagine it? It was bad enough listening on there, isn't it? Take the piss out of it even, but crikey. There is no negotiating with Donald Trump, is there? Because at the end of the day, he doesn't give you room to speak. You have a conversation requires at least 2 people. And in this case, these 2 people are both the same person as Donald Trump and Donald Trump. And it's obviously his base that he's trying to fluff up to. Just received an Amazon order, that one. Trump probably smells like a dead cow. That's not pleasant. Oh, dear. Considering the odour that Rump is known to have, Carney is heroic. Oh, dear. Musky Trump. Not just despise Trump, but the entire regime, yes. No, it is not an administration, no, it's a regime. It's definitely a regime because of dictatorship, isn't it? You think what's going on? I was watching, what's her name? Oh, Cosplay Christie. There she was, in a crikey, in select committee meeting something, and been asked these questions regarding deporting American citizens, and she was trying to make no, we're not deporting American citizens, but they literally just all the Republicans literally just signed a bill to say that they can deport American citizens. All this goes against your Constitution. It's just nuts. It's just the Constitution is supposed to be it's a safety net against tyrannical government, isn't it? It's a bit like for us in the UK being a part of the European Convention of Human Rights. It's like a safeguard against a tyrannical government. Now we're heading that way because if Nigel Farage gets in, yes, we'll have a tyrannical government. We'll have a Farage type government which will absolutely screw our relationship with the European Union and our trade. And when you consider that they know there's a distinct possibility that Nigel Farage could actually end up in power, they are not going to negotiate anything of any real substance with Keir Starmer. Because they know it'll just end up being pointless. It's dangerous. There we go. Yeah, Joe Marios on a channel. He's literally just started his own channel, and he's a very wise man. That he is. He has a lot to say, and I quite like. They're quite long, some of the videos, but I do I tend to listen to as a podcast, and because I'm working in the workshop, you see, because I'm a woodworking shop over there, you see. So when I'm in there doing my bits and pieces, I'll put stuff like him on or someone else, even, whoever. But yeah, check him out. Joe Barros in the chat there. He has got his own channel. He's only just started, so he's got better lighting now. So that's improved. See your pimples now. Americans are going to suffer more than the Canadians or Europeans. I know. I actually find this a little bit sad. There's one man and his crew. Stephen Miller, the penis head, literally just want to screw everything up for everybody. And ordinary people, those who are probably the poor, well, everyone's going to suffer, but the poorest in society are going to suffer the most. And even those who voted for him, who have been misled or gullible enough because of simpletons, and they've been taken in. In some ways, those people need protection from people like Donald Trump. You put them in Arkham Asylum or something like that. That'll protect them. With no right to vote. Oh dear. Oh, there we go. Can't come back. No, what am I doing? Oh, phew. Europe is doing fine. Yeah, I'm here in France and it looks pretty good from where I am. My eggs are cheap. I had €3 the other day for 30 eggs. It's like 10 cents an egg. Who's brave enough to tell Trump that he's senile? Oh, dear me. Do you reckon Melania tells him that? I won't be surprised. But you know what? It's like she always heads off to her place. He heads off to his place. And they get off the plane when they've gone to, like, for instance, the Pope's funeral. I hear that Donald Trump is going to be the Pope. So, I've seen the pictures. Anyway, and then she goes in one direction. He goes barely, he's like, and she's just gone. She's like, he's trying to give her a peck, and she don't want any of her. Don't blame her, to be fair. Oh, he's foul, isn't he? He's foul. Oh, yeah, that's no. Cheers, buddy. Marcus, do you think Trump will go to the golf competition on his golf course in Scotland and try to play a game, saying if he's a goof? Golfer. It's more like the gopher in Caddyshack. Let's blow him up, shall we? Oh, crikey. Yeah, what is he? The golf cart general. So it's like when anyone plays with him, it's like they've got to lose, just keep on side with Donny. He's pathetic, isn't he? He's pathetic too. Well, he certainly does go to Scotland, doesn't he? Yeah. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna? I know what I would do. If I was there, I'd sneak in my drones, all right, and I'd drop weed killer on his golf course. That's what I'll be doing. Maybe write stuff. Like, I don't know. Trump is a prick. I don't know. If you know what I mean. Oh, words to that effect. Oh, cheers, Aston. Much appreciated, my friend. Oh, Hidden Night. See that? Hidden Night. Hidden Night. That's a name and a half. Trade with Canada instead. Let the US trade with itself. That'll hurt the United States, wouldn't it? You know. But Europe and Canada were all looking for new markets. And China's looking for new markets. You know, they just UK is pretty much signed a trade deal now with India. You know, which is going to help Scotland. You know, with whiskey. So yeah, it's. You see, the thing about trade deals, it's not just about the trade itself. You can maintain peace with trade deals. Just, you know, why would you want an attack or have a bad relationship with a country that you are, that you're both mutually benefiting from? It doesn't make any sense, does it? And so obviously India, we're currently looking at a closer relationship with, in terms of the European Union, with China, for instance. Yeah, trading relationship, which I'm sort of happy about, but I'm not. With the Uyghur Muslims and stuff. You know, that's the kind of thing that really, it doesn't feel right suggesting to trade with China when China, obviously, what they're doing to the Uyghur Muslims and slavery and what have you, and then criticising obviously Donald Trump and the United States, what's going on with ICE and sending innocent people to El Salvador. Yeah, Alcatraz soon. That's just nuts. Has he ever actually been to Alcatraz? I haven't been there, but I've seen plenty of pictures. I've seen the videos, and as JG fans would say. But yeah, it's apparently all the pipework is corroded in the place because it's all salt water been run through it, so that's all corroded. They don't have fresh water on there, so the water's got to be carted there. Food's obviously got to be carted there. It's not practical. It's not practical. Maybe make it a leper colony or something like that. I don't know. It's it doesn't make any sense. He has all these wild ideas, and it's not going to materialise, is it? It's not going to happen. Currently earns about 60 million in tourism. You know, and my thought is that maybe the tourism could stay, but then you could have almost like peep show prisoners and stuff, so you could watch the prisoners like they're in their little cages, like pets. I thought that'd be quite cool. Don't suggest it to Donny though, because he probably thinks it's a good idea. But so that's not going to happen. That's just rubbish. He just blurts his stuff out like verbal diarrhea. Like he just got off his old golden toilet and he's come up with another brain fart. It's just unreal. It's just something wrong. There's something seriously going on up there. It's not all the ticket. I don't think I've heard anything of any substance come out of his gob yet. I really haven't. So, goofer. There we go. What have I missed? Oh, I visited Alcatraz around 25 years ago. Half the island is rubble. There's not much in the way of beachfront property, is there? You know, any chance of that, Donny? You know, if you could develop it, you know, unless like abseiling. Oh, the King is opening a Canadian Parliament at the end. Oh, he is, isn't he? Yes, in 28 days, I think it was. Yes, Mark Carney's invited the King. Now, that's not such a stupid idea to try and create more of a bond between the United Kingdom and Canada. It'll obviously help with trade and what have you as well. So that's, maybe the old king has a little bit of purpose there. Not much, but a little bit, yeah. Yeah. King Charles sausage fingers. I'm not a fan. I'll be honest with you. He has done some good, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of his son either. They're very angry little men, if you know what I mean. They're bitter. I'm not a fan. No. Oh, I don't know. Press something again. Right, here we go. Did I just say something like Granny Waddlebottom? Is that Anne Waddlebottom? Hello, Granny Waddlebottom. Handsome Marcus, kiss a kiss. I don't know about handsome. Oh my god, my poor missus. Oh, I keep having videos. Made my big beard on, my big old bushy beard, And I thought, oh my giddy aunt, that's terrible. That's huge. It was a pain in the neck. It was. Just getting dust in it and food. I got to a point where I had enough. I had to just say, so cut the bugger off, and I did. Oh, you're visiting summer. I visit Canada this summer. Now, my son is actually going there soon, and also my daughter-in-law, other daughter, he's going to visit Canada because his father-in-law and mother-in-law lives in Canada. I can't remember whereabouts. The pictures look like what they sent back. Very green and with lakes and big mountains. That's very, very nice actually. It almost looked like AI. It just looked too perfect. But so he's going back and going there. Sorry, and then my granddaughter and my daughter-in-law and is going to visit as well. They've got family there apparently. So. This is a political channel, not a church. That's not a church. And besides, I am not a religious person, all right? I'm a practical person, that I am. I like things that kind of make sense. To me, that there's somebody floating around up there in the clouds. Every time I think about that, I just think of monkey. Oh, dear. Ice on beer. Crikey, what else has been going on recently regarding that's that regarding those bonds and the I suppose the cash for access, I suppose what it is. Regarding that lorry, that trucking company, logistics company. So they're really struggling at the moment. And although they ain't dried up completely yet, but it's going to dry up pretty much, isn't it? If you haven't got the stuff coming in, because it's tariffs on everything. And then obviously deals with Canada. It's going to be pretty dire, isn't it? And China, and then India, Vietnam. Nothing's going to be coming in. Does Donald Trump honestly think all of a sudden all these factories are going to spring out of nowhere? It's not just the actual factory itself, but all the materials and mineral deposits and stuff like that. Where they all going to just all of a sudden just come from? If it was your aim to do something like it's done, you've got cold turkey, isn't he? But if you do it gradually over a period of time, you put a little bit of a squeeze on, not a great big fucking lump ham on top of it, or you just a little bit of a squeeze, and eventually, I think it becomes more economical. It makes more sense to utilise facilities within the United States. You've got to do it bit by bit, provide subsidies, provide help, financial incentives. And Donald Trump won't do any of that. He'll just whinge and whine about everyone else doing it. You look at, for instance, BYD cars, they get a considerable subsidy from China. And that's one of the reasons why the EU are going to yeah, we obviously put big tariffs on there to try and balance the car prices, but those blooming Chinese electric cars, they're bloody good, you know, aren't they? They really are. I tell you what, they're really evolving, but it's just they've been developing some quite supercars and 0 to 100 in about 1.9 seconds. And it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Why would you need that? Yeah, I don't know why you need that. It's just nuts. I suppose it's just a case of saying, "Oh, we can do it." Now China's got its eye on the moon, right? So China's doing a lot of development regarding actually getting up to the moon. You know, maybe there's a hydrogen on the dark side of the moon. That's another movie reference, but it's just Donald Trump just is going to be cutting funding to a venture involving, revisiting the moon, so to speak, and he's cutting it. It's just when you've got other countries, this so-called space race going on. You know, you think what China can do, and then obviously what Putin's doing. He can make these freaking satellites now that just come tumbling back down to Earth. Oh, it's all frightening stuff. Hello, very stable milking stool and JBT online. Sold them on the street corner, no tax. What's that? That's called not paying taxes. BYD is CCP. Yeah, that is company. All Chinese companies are connected to CCP. Yeah. Somebody corrected me on this before. So it's the Chinese Communist Party, or the Communist Party, or CPC. Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, because it's a bit like ByteDance as well, isn't it? You know, they've all got ties and they share data with China, which makes it very worrying and very concerning. Now, for me, nature is my favourite thing. Me too. I love nature. Oh, natural, me. You know. I was doing rewilding here. We're planting loads of trees. And in fact, I've been trying to cut the grass right in just the last couple of days because it's just literally just grown like crazy in no time. In 3 weeks, it's like 2 foot tall. 4 weeks. I couldn't cut in between, it bloody rained. So then I'm battling it again. Beer and bacon, and I am a happy man, says Joe. Beer and bacon. I thought you liked bacon. As in baking. Oh, there. Hello, Pammy C. I vote a straight Democratic ticket. They call us yellow dog Democrats, meaning that one would vote for a yellow dog rather than be a Republican. I just this bunch, they're terrible, aren't they? Let's be honest. They're just Marjorie Taylor Greene, for Christ's sake. God, looks like she should have. Who stepped down recently in Georgia? Oh, I forgot his name now. Please excuse me. I get brain fog. I forget things. The West is quite friendly with lots of nature. I love nature. I can get a good national bear. My favourite is ethnic reasons as a German bear. There we come. Right, let's get that out of the way. Alright, there we come. Now, Neil deGrasse. Now, the astrophysicist geezer. He's been making some posts recently that are a bit kind of left wing, even though he spends quite a bit of time with Joe Rogan, doesn't he? And it feels a bit right wing then, and that I just can't make it. Anyway, the thing about Neil deGrasse, what I don't like is that there's 4 women came forward regarding being a bit of a how to put it, he's an alleged sex offender, right? accused him of being a sex offender. Yeah, inappropriate. There we come. Oh, crikey, I'm making mistakes. There we go. All right. So Trump's trade war with Canada has backfired on America. I would say it has. And this was today. This was obviously before he had his meeting. Now, Mark Carney several times now has actually made it quite clear. He did in that meeting as well, the best that he could, because finding a space to speak was pretty impossible, wasn't it? And quite clear that Canada's not for sale. Now Canada's going to have to find new markets, and the US car auto industry, they're going to have no choice but to buy the stuff at highly inflated prices. So that's only what you can do, other than actually just shut down production. The idea they can just all of a sudden just, start production again, and it's all very well saying, "Oh, we've got all these factories back there. They haven't been running. They've been vacated for 20 odd years, but they're not got the same tooling." You don't just all of a sudden, "Oh, that's it, start up." And then you've got to find your workers. And when there's a shortage of workers because you ship them all off to El Salvador, it's just, no, it's not going to happen, is it? You're going to have robots. Lots more robots, but they're not perfect yet. They're going for trial basis at the moment, really, aren't they? So let me go there. Not that one. Where was I? No. Trump, about defending the world and what have we got the best arms, we've got the best this, we've got the best that. Well, Germany's economy is pretty much doing full circle, from struggling. They're doing quite well now. And their munitions companies such as Rheinmetall, that builds tanks and other stuff, ammunitions, have tripled in size. Tripled since Donald Trump has been the president. It's just, Donald Trump, in some ways, is everybody's, messiah, really. Because at the end of the day, he's helped Canada in many ways. Canada's going to hopefully be able to secure its own future, not be dependent on the United States. And, people are quite, countries in the European Union are all very, very keen to start trading with Canada. So it could be Canada's favour, couldn't it? Really could. It's got to take time, and there will be some pain, obviously. The Trump administration has sent an unmistakable message to Europe: you're on your own. Now, regarding obviously NATO, I don't think he'd even go to Article 5. I can't imagine Trump saying, if, for instance, Finland gets attacked, because currently Putin's amassing loads of military equipment on the Finnish border. And let's say, for instance, they do a tester and we'll take Estonia or Finland, and see whether or not NATO is effective. See whether or not they rise up to it. They're testing the water, so to speak. I wouldn't be a bit surprised, but I don't think that the United States will actually step up. I don't. They might supply munitions, but at a cost. What's all the sign of minerals do? Oh dear. So the Trump administration has sent an unmistakable message to Europe: you're on your own. And in the 3 dizzying months, you could say that, couldn't you? It has been rather dizzying. The White House has reversed decades worth of American foreign policy, pledged to scale back its presence on the continent, and pushed to wrap up Russia's war in Ukraine. Well, that didn't. J.D. Vance says, well, it's not going to end anytime soon, which pretty much means they've given up regarding negotiation. But there's never going to be a negotiation, was there? Don't try to sort of give away absolutely everything and expect Ukraine to just capitulate and Putin get whatever he wants. It's not how it works, is it? So yes, they had to build obviously build the tanks. You've got the Raphael fighters as well. Yeah, they're doing really, really well. Now, if I'm looking here, military expenditure in Europe, right? The UK's gone up, right? Germany has increased the most. They've had a 47.6% increase in military spending. And don't forget, they also obviously build a lot of stuff for other countries, the tanks and stuff. A lot of stuff gone to Ukraine. France, that's had an increase. Don't say how much though. Not much is that direct. Since Trump's been in, just there to there. Looks like it's got about a 20% increase. About 20% increase over that. 15-20% increase in France. France was already a very big exporter of military equipment. They're the second largest exporter of arms. So could we defend ourselves without the United States? It'd be a bit harder, wouldn't it? But I think we could. I would hope so. Obviously. I'm losing my voice. Right, not that one. No, not that one. Now, Donald Trump is saying they're all moving back to the United States regarding these car manufacturers and stuff. General Motors, as well, they've pretty much said it's already cost us like billions. Nissan has said it's costing, what was it now? Something $1 million every day or 100 million every day or something crazy, some stupid amount, or 10 million, huge amount of money every single day is costing Nissan. And Ford suspends their guidance for 2025 and 2.5 billion because they don't know what's going on. You see, no one can plan because they don't really know what's happening to these tariffs and the impact of them. So Ford it beat Wall Street's first quarter expectation, but suspended its 2025 financial guidance. The automaker expects to see a 2.5 billion impact from the tariffs this year. So all this crap from Donald Trump, they're going to be so great, it's going to be so bigly. At the end of the day, these companies they're suffering, severely suffering, and that's people's jobs, isn't it? People's jobs, and also GDP. And also tax take. Oh, crikey. It's fallen more. It's got, at the pandemic, everything just, it's pretty much doing that. Not great. That's all. Oh, not that one. Come back here, you. Trump's tariffs in the news. How to contain traffic at the port of Tacoma. Now, some social media is saying, and I got caught up in this a little bit, and there's no more ships coming to port. This is the last one coming in. That's not entirely true. There's another ship. Well, there are still more ships. They don't just come from China. You see. From India and places like that as well, other Asian countries. So depending on the social media feed, shipping lanes and port traffic are a hot topic, and varying opinions on whether ports are ghost towns or still bustling up. They're not buzzing as much as they were. It's slowing down. It is slowing down. Now there is a website, I can't remember what it was called now. I've been on there several times before and I made videos with it. Where you can track all the actual ships and where they've been, where they're going, and all that sort of stuff, which is pretty darn cool. So China, 145% tariff, that 245 at one point, didn't it? No, a precipitous drop in volume from the number of major American retailers stopping all shipments from China based on the tariffs, according to this. There we go. Yeah, it isn't as bad as a lot of people are saying, but it's bad. And there will be a shortage, obviously, And if in the shortage, obviously the prices are going to be downside more. They're going to have increased. I'm losing my voice. I'm losing my voice. And it's mental. While impacts vary by sector, the common thread is disruption. Industries rely on resilient, responsible, and reliable supply chains. You know, factories can't operate like this, can they? You've only got to have one thing not available. And like, for instance, what happened with Brexit, with literally the stopping of the just-in-time supply chain for the car industry in the UK, because we were quite reliant on stuff going backwards and forwards across the channel, and it stopped. And all of a sudden, car manufacturers had to stockpile loads of components and parts, in fact, in storage. You know, which means they had to invest. That's money that's not earning. You know, it's just sitting there. Not that one. What am I doing? Back. Oh, there we are. Right. What about ongoing tensions between India and Pakistan? That's a good point as well. And India and China. And remember, this will influence the future trade shares of imports and exports the US has in the world, and it will take years to recuperate them after. Yes. So once people find new markets and they get relationships with other countries and other traders and stuff, they don't go back, do they? They feel safe. They don't want the situation again, do they? You just jump into the fire again. The CEO of Costco says they expect to see shelves empty within 4 to 5 weeks. It's not going to be good, is it? They are also redirecting transports to Canada, for example. Yeah, and China. India's a bit more concerned at the moment that China's going to be dumping a load of product on their shores. Anything is, are they only going to dump it if it's going to get bought, or are they just going to just stick it there? Now, what a lot of people don't know about Shan on Temu actually Temu actually stockpiled in the United States for US based orders, so that yes, there's no tariff to pay because they've just literally stored shitloads of their rubbish in massive warehouses. So how long they can that last for, I don't know. Obviously, there'll be a lot of things run dry. Last of my wine, oh no. Yeah, well, that'd be a bit like Donald Trump with his military parade as well, wouldn't it? You know, on his birthday. Yeah, so Kim Jong-il, the Rocket Man, leader of North Korea, has a military parade. He's always doing military parades, though. Yeah, it's all about showing off, isn't it? Show the world what you got. Yeah, keep them on their edge. And currently, they're mass producing these rocket launcher things. You know, these missile launchers. They got like 6 or 8 missiles on each one. Bloody great things. Big old tracked launchers. That's true. Canada has free trade with everyone still, yeah. Except the United States. Yeah, America's going to have a bad summer. I know I keep saying it, but I still find it a little bit sad. I do find it sad that it's come to this. That somebody like Donald Trump would literally make everyone's lives, more difficult, harder. It feels pretty immoral, but that man don't care, does he? He doesn't give a damn about people. He really doesn't. The people that want the rich to get richer, no. They're sucking the wealth out of the country. Every country. It can't go on like that. You know, you get to a point where there's a finite point where you can't have a situation that you're no longer producing enough money to replace the money that's been taken. And when you've got these people that just stick the money just sitting there, they don't have to do anything, you know. If they've got £3 million, are you living off the income of it? Yeah, 5% interest, and they're just. It's money that hasn't. See, normally when money enters back into the economy, it gets spent and recycled and spent again, recycled, and as such, it fuels the economy for everybody else. But these people just got it in their bank accounts, not doing anything. Or they're invested in one or two bits and pieces and again taking dividends, just sitting on the money. It's just ways of storing, and they buy assets and stuff like that. Yeah, again, those assets are doing nothing. It doesn't. The money don't work. It's not working money. It's not actually fueling the economy. It's not keeping people in work, for instance. It's just sitting there. It's pointless, really. For them, it's just, oh, yeah, bank balance. Oh, look at that. Oh, I never got to work again. Oh dear, it's frustrating. And then you've got people like on the right, what have you, complaining about people on the left who say tax the rich. I think you'll be careful how you do it, For a start, I know I've spoken about this before so many times, but asset holding companies, and they're a major problem. They really are. Where companies can invest, foreign companies can invest in the United Kingdom, and that money's ring fenced, so you don't have to pay any tax on it. That's madness. But if we had an asset holding company, a British citizen in Britain, well then you would have to pay tax on it. That's Boris Johnson for you. David Cameron actually got rid of it. He got rid of it because it was a ridiculous system, and Boris Johnson brought it back. It doesn't. Direct foreign investment is only good if it's actually doing something. If someone comes in the country and actually invests in something like, I don't know, I would say a factory or something like that, like Donald Trump's trying to do. But then they're the people that build the factories, and but then obviously potential workers when the factory's actually running. It's it could fuel the economy, But you can't have the money constantly being siphoned. And you've got all these corporations who pretty much own everything. And in this case, actually individuals, like for instance, Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and people like that, even though his wealth has been halved recently, which is quite funny. But it's these people, they're just hoarding money. And they're counting that, hoarding their money. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't really even help them. Are they happy for it? I don't think so. Do you honestly think Elon Musk is happy at the moment? He doesn't look particularly happy. That's why he's all bloody coked up all the time, And it's ketamine. Was it fentanyl? Could be either, can it? Are you referring to BlackRock? Yeah, crikey, BlackRock. Who do they invest in? BlackRock. Who are the ones who just bought the ports in Panama? Is that BlackRock? I think it is, isn't it? And you've got Peter Thiel and others. It's a game to these people. About how do we make more money? More money. It's a game. It's like playing cards, And they just want to win all the time. Unfortunately, everybody else loses, Musk not being happy makes me smart, makes me happy. Yeah. Well, Musk isn't very happy at the moment. He's actually he made a statement on his Twitter. Was it Twitter? No, I think he's been interviewed. He was being interviewed. Basically, he was saying that a lot you can do for Tesla. It sounds to me that is dying a death. With the boycott. The CEOs are looking to actually push him out as well. So, the quicker they do that, the better. I grow my own salad fixings in an old dresser drawer filled with dirt. And oh yeah, why not? Just plant it, isn't it? Yeah, we do a lot of growing here. We've got a potager. We've got a lot of tomatoes, lettuces, and beetroot, you name it. Peppers, cucumbers, and potatoes, carrots, parsnips. What else we've got put in so far? So yeah, we grow quite a bit. Maybe mustn't go back to Tesla and ruin it a bit more. He's fried, isn't he? He's absolutely fried. He should have stayed well away from politics and stopped and shouldn't have expressed himself too much, if you know what I mean. You know? Trump thinks we are all thick. He may have a point. Well, not if any people vote for him. They voted for him. What's it say about them? Oh, did you mention cucumbers? Yes, we grow cucumbers. Cucumbers, corner, you know, like little gherkins, little wallies, and oh, crikey, there's food crops we've done quite well with in the past. We tend to stick with them. We struggle here with cauliflowers because our soil's a little bit on the acidic side, so it's they don't like it. You have to lime a lot, and that makes it just impractical. You still grow them, but they're not so good. Right, here we go. I will say hello to my Sebastian. I always do. He has big cuddles, he do. He's a lovely, lovely, all my dogs. I lost one last year, my little Wally. He was that hit hard, that did, I'll tell you. He's my buddy. And yes, I lost him last year. He was very ill. And Sebastian isn't very well. He has enlarged heart, so he struggles. So at the moment, he's coughing a lot, which is a bit worrying. Usually means I've got water in the lung, but he ain't got water in the lung. He's wheezy. So I think he might have asthma or something. I don't know, something's going on there. I have tried giving him an inhaler because I've got asthma, but it didn't really work very well. It seemed to help him a little bit, but yeah, they got the wrong shaped mouth. But yeah, he's a lovely boy. And then we've got Pandora as well. They're all rescues, and they're little characters, but they've been spoiled, they're spoiled with love. They are. They're our little friends. It's like children, isn't it? Them dogs. But I've got 6 kids as well, so it's like, what we do after having the 6 kids, we get dogs now. So yeah. Anyway, I am going to make a move. My throat is actually really dry and sore now. Because I've got fibromyalgia, you see, so I get problems with my throat. That's why I've got a funny voice. It's bugging my vocal cords up. Not quite RFK yet, and I ain't got a brainworm, Anyway, thanks for joining us, and thanks to Alice Starm and Alice. Super chats, much appreciated. It really is. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go. So say toodaloo, So toodaloo, and check out my videos. Don't forget to boot the little like button, and maybe share my videos now as well. That'd be very helpful. Oh dear. So yeah, toodaloo. Don't forget, boop, 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 boop. I want to see it go up. Toodaloo.